Down here, you can key all of those in. The main ones being your recording format. You can see the default here is MKV. You might want to switch it to an MP4 or an MOV file. And then you also want to adjust your recording quality. Because in a lot of cases, you want to actually record a higher quality video than the one that you're streaming out. So higher than 5,000 kilobits per second in this case. So we can choose a high quality medium file size or one of the other options in here as well. Now this next area here, audio, is where obviously we get to dive into some audio settings. Now there's really only a couple in here that you need to look at. The rest are going to be fine by default. The first one is your channels. By default, you want to have this set to stereo unless you specifically need to be broadcasting in mono or surround sound, 2.1, 5.1 surround sound. So for most people, you're going to want to leave this at stereo for most live streams or most recorded videos. But the one that you really want to check in here is your primary audio source, which is your mic auxiliary audio, not audio 2, 3, or 4, to the first one here. And you want to change this from default to your actual microphone that you've got connected to your computer, or to your camera, which is connected to your computer. So in this case, I'm going to set it to the CamLink 4K because the microphone I'm using is going to be directly connected to my CamLink, which is connected to my Panasonic GH4. So for audio, I want it coming through the CamLink. Now, even if the default setting here of default is using your correct microphone because of your system settings, I would still strongly recommend that you're manually setting this to your actual microphone just so that you don't have any issues down the track. But this next one down here, video, this is where we get to specify all of our video related settings for the quality, for the frame rate of the live stream that we're going to be creating, both here in OBS and also to whatever we're going to be pushing out to YouTube in this case, or even to be recorded. The two of them don't actually need to be the same. So you could actually be working from a higher resolution project in OBS, but broadcasting out to YouTube or recording a video file in a lower scaled resolution. And that's what we get to specify in here. So the default here is that our base canvas resolution, our OBS resolution, is at 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p. But the default is saying that we're going to be broadcasting, our output is 720p, 1280 by 720. So I'm going to hit this little drop down arrow and I'm going to switch this to 1920 by 1080. Now you do have the ability in here to pick other resolutions, or you can actually just type in a custom resolution as well. So you see that there's nothing that goes above 1920 by 1080. But if you want to broadcast in 4K, then you could actually type in the resolution numbers for 4K and you would be good to go. So we're going to go 1920 by 1080. And we're going to leave our frame rate here at 30 frames per second. This next one down, hotkeys, is where we can set up shortcut keys to be able to control OBS. So we can create our own keyboard shortcuts to do things like start or stop streaming, start or stop recording, or a heap of the other functions that you've got inside of OBS as well. So this is something that's not necessary, but it can really streamline the way that you're able to control and configure everything up and run your live stream while you're actually live. And down here under advanced, you guessed it, there's a lot more advanced settings in here. I would say the one that I do check here and make sure is selected is to automatically reconnect. So if for whatever reason your internet drops out, that it is actually going to automatically attempt to reconnect and to restart your stream with this setting enabled. So we're going to go ahead now and select OK. And now we're going to go ahead and set up our scenes for our live streams. So I've already got one default scene that's added down the bottom here because there always has to be at least one that's created. And we're going to rename this one, right click on it and choose rename. Let's call this main camera. Now for this main camera, we're now going to need to specify which sources we want to have used, or which cameras we want to have used in this scene of main camera. So we're going to go ahead and press the plus button. We're going to choose video capture device. Now, a video capture device is any camera, any webcam that you've got connected to your computer. So we're going to pick video capture device. We can give it a name here. Let's choose CamLink 4K and go OK. And now we're going to specify which camera we're going to link here.